Hi, welcome back everybody to Coldstream Rod Top. I'm Derek Fraser. Going to go over what we've been doing with the 32 Ford pickup body. We started with sandblasting it. We put the epoxy primer on, and I've done some seam sealing. So talk a little bit about the sandblasting. A couple things I could point out. If you're going to use one of these sandblasters that you can get from Princess Auto or somewhere else, a few things. One, make sure you get a good water filter on your compressor, because if there's any amount of water that gets in your sand, it'll plug up. Second thing, sift your sand. If you don't have a sifter, take some screen from a door or a window and pour your sand through this, and you'd be amazed at the little rocks that get stuck into it. That'll clog it up. And the third thing, make sure you have lots of these little ceramic nozzles that go on the end of here, because that sand after about 30 minutes or so is going to blow a big hole into it and the blasting isn't as effective. And if you don't have a really good, if you don't have an air supply system like this, a separate air supply system like that, make sure you have a really good N95 mask that's sealed really well, because silica sand is just not good for you. The epoxy priming, we did the firewall, the two doors, and the cab. I used the Fleet Essential epoxy primer, reducer, and hardener. There's all different types of epoxy primers you can use. I chose to put epoxy primer on this and cover everything because I simply can't do all of the body work, all of the mudding and body fill all at one time. So what I'll be doing is as I go, I'll be scuffing the areas that I do, applying a fiberglass type body fill first, basically to cover any of the welds, any of the pinholes. I'm going to sand that off smooth, and then I'll go with a regular body fill on top of that. So some people will do the body fill first and prime it. Because I can't work at this every single day, I prime the whole thing, put a good coat onto it, and then before I put the body fill on, I scuff everything, make sure that it would stick to the epoxy primer. The other thing that we did was on the bottom, I tipped the body up and I actually painted the floor while I still had it there, because I don't want to tip the body back while I've got all the body work done and basically risk denting or whatever the back of it. The other thing I did from the inside is anywhere that I welded, I used a seam sealer. There's all kinds of different brands, but basically took a brush and applied this gooey stuff anywhere where I welded, anywhere where there could be any pinholes that I can't cover, and that stuff, once it hardens up, you can paint right over it. There was quite a bit I had to do because I did a lot of body work to this. So over the next couple weeks or so, I will be applying, as I said, the fiberglass body filler to anywhere where there's any kind of like little pinholes or picks or whatever from the welds, and make sure everything is sealed from both sides, and then I'll progress to doing the final body fill. That's where we are. That's what I've been working on for the past 3 days. If you have any questions, please send comments, like, subscribe. That's it. Have a great night, everybody.